Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt with our Saturday workout. This will be a fun group workout that we will do today that is intended to be spaced out. Like your work is intended to be spaced out by the work of 2 to 4 other people. So that is the intent for today. It is a significant amount of continuous work and fatigue followed by a bit of rest and recovery that is eventually encouraged back into another round by the people standing around your kettlebells, okay? So let's begin the warm up with 10 shuttle runs, so down and back 5 times. Then we're gonna do a 1 length of diagonal skater bound and stick, so that is just a 45-degree jump off one leg, landing on the other leg, and trying to stick that landing. So jump, stick the landing, balance, stop, jump, stick the landing, balance, stop. So what we're specifically not doing is jump, 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 jump. There's another purpose, another time for that. We do pogo hops, that's what we're doing there. Today it is absorbing the landing, allowing the force to accumulate in your legs, stabilizing, stopping, and balancing. That is the intent for today, okay? Next one we'll go on the way back is just high knees, fast feet. So make those feet move fast. There you can have your little bouncy feet if you want to. Next one is kettlebell pause cleans. So get 5 reps on each side. The pause is at the catch. The point being that when we lift kettlebells, a lot of times we just rip them off the floor and stand up with them. And that's not really a clean. It is technically because you picked it up off from the ground and got it to your shoulders, but I want to see you jump, catch in that pause position, or pause in that catch position, and then stand tall, right? So it's emphasizing the good parts of the clean, even though you don't have to, just for practice, all right? So 5 reps on each side of that, and then get you a band. We do a band Spanish squat hold. So this is a little quad and knee warm-up exercise. Wrap that band around the rig. It's behind one knee, step into it, it's behind the other one, and then I'm just sitting down into a squatting position, so thighs parallel to the ground, keeping my hands off of my body and trying to sit up tall as much as I can. So try not to be folded over your legs when you do this, but try to be almost like you're sitting in a chair, right? So 30 seconds of a band Spanish squat, and then we can practice some of those kettlebell exercises. You can warm up, do the first round lighter, second round a little bit heavier, third round a little bit heavier. Go up to something that makes you fearful that you might drop the weights, but you don't drop the weights, okay? So anytime we do a workout like this, it's a little bit dicey because yes, you could just pick the 9-pound kettlebells and kind of walk your way through it and go like, oh, wasn't really that good of a workout. Or you could try it with the 70s and not get through the first, set of it and be like, this is way too hard, right? So the goal for you for today and for every day, and I'm pretty sure I said this earlier this week, but is like find the sweet spot where difficulty and technique are both in this like 90% range, right? So that is like, I can do it really, really well, good technique, but I'm also struggling really hard with the effort level of it, and that's where you'll get the results, okay? So a lot of you guys, it means pushing out of that comfort zone of, I've always used the 26-pound kettlebells, and that's all I'm ever gonna use. These are my kettlebells, and I'm forever resigned to them. They are handcuffed to my wrist, okay? So I want you to try to break the handcuffs today and try to use the 35s or use the 44s. Do something that's a little bit scarier, right? And even if it means you fail, right? At least you tried, right? And we broke out of that mental barrier, that mental cage that you keep yourself in, and you believed a little bit in yourself, and you said, I got this, and then you struggled through it, and lo and behold, I guarantee you, at least one of you is gonna have that experience where, like, I didn't know I could do it, and I could, right? And your team was there cheering you on the whole way, and that is the intent. That's really what we're going for here. So 3 to 4 rounds in about 30 minutes is the goal here. If you get 4 rounds, great. If you get 3 rounds, great. Don't sweat it too much. So the first exercise, the exercises go from technically the most challenging, and the carries are the more difficult, to less challenging, so that as you fatigue, you have to do less with your brain, all right? So the first one is 4 reps of a kettlebell cluster, right? So that is starting from the ground. We do a squat clean, and then thruster, and then back to the ground. Squat clean, thruster. And when I finish that last thruster, the kettlebells come to the front rack position, and I do a 160-foot front rack carry, so that is down and back twice, right? When I finish that, now I'm gonna go into 8 squat cleans, right? So now it's just the clean, like so. When I finish the squat clean, then I'm gonna alternate one arm, right? One arm's up, one arm's down, walking, When I switch, or when I get to the halfway point or at 80 feet, then I'll switch, put the other one up, and I'm doing 80 feet again of this alternating one arm down, one arm up. The last one is just kettlebell deadlifts. So touch the ground and stand tall. So 12 reps of that. And then when I finish that last set of kettlebell deadlifts, then I'm just walking farmer's carry, right? And it's always 160 feet or down and back twice. 40 feet is one length. 80 feet is two lengths. 160 feet is four lengths, okay? So that is the complex of the workout. The goal is I finish the entire thing without releasing the grip of the kettlebells, right? So that's gonna limit you, is you're gonna be tired, your grip's gonna be tired, your heart rate's gonna be high, and you're still trying to finish those last 4 farmer carries, right? So that is the intent for the workout for today. But then you set it down and you hand it to your partners or your team and you watch them do it. And then by the time everybody has gone through their set of it, then you're fresh, you're ready, and you go and do it again, okay? That is how we're gonna work the workout today. There is some optional finishing stuff of some biking, some med ball to toes, ring rows, plyo push-ups when you're done if you would like to get a little bit of extra work in when you finish the carry complex. But if not, then that is it for this week. I hope you had a great one, and I will see you guys next Monday.